So combining functions, we can always use algebraic operations to combine two given functions. So we can either combine them by adding the two functions together. So now right here it's saying f plus g of x. So the way we combine them is that it's the same as saying f of x plus g of x. We can also use the operation of subtraction, where we take the first function, subtract from it the other function. We can do multiplication, and we can also do division. However, in division, we always have the function on the bottom, the denominator, where that function cannot equal to 0. So now here, given two functions, we're given f of x is equal to x minus 1, and we're given that g of x is equal to x squared minus 1. First thing we're going to do is that we're going to find f, the g minus f. So here, the first thing I'm going to do is, I know it's g minus f of x. I always like to rewrite it as as g of x minus f of x. Now here, putting the functions inside of the parentheses is a big thing when we're doing operations, especially in subtraction, because here you're going to distribute the minus sign to the other function. So here, the way we're going to do is g of x, where g of x is x squared minus 1. I put it into a parentheses, minus f of x, which is x minus 1. And now here I'm simplifying the function by getting rid of the parentheses and combining like term. So the first thing I'm going to do is that minus sign is going to go to every term inside of the parentheses. So here I'm going to have x squared minus 1 minus x plus 1, because a negative times a negative is a positive. Now I combine like terms. So here x squared, I have nothing to combine it with, so it stays the same. Now here I have a negative 1 and I have a plus 1. Negative 1 plus 1 is a 0, so I don't need to write it. So this goes away with this, and then minus x. So now here, g minus f of x is equal to x squared minus x. So I subtracted both of these functions. The next thing they're telling me is divide g by f of x. Again, I like to separate it here, so it's g of x over f of x. The first thing I'm going to say is f of x cannot equal to 0. So now here, I am going to write my g of x on top. So it's x squared minus 1 all over x minus 1. Now here I know that the numerator could be factors at x minus 1, x plus 1, and I have on the bottom x minus 1. So right here, since the top is two factors that are being multiplied together, I know that x minus 1 goes away with x minus 1. And now my final answer here is x plus 1. So g of x divided by 5 of x is equal to x plus 1. Now I know that this problem is not asking us to do so, but I would like to add the two functions together. So now here we're given these functions. I want to find g plus f of x. So here g of x is x squared minus 1, again with parentheses, plus f of x, which is x minus 1. Now to simplify, we get rid of the parentheses, so that's x squared minus 1 plus x minus 1, distributing the positive. Now combining like terms, I would have x squared, negative 1 minus 1 is minus 2, plus x. I can rearrange these to write them as x squared plus x minus 2. Now, will I obtain the same answer if I did f plus g of x? So here, I'm going to rewrite it as f of x plus g of x. Now, my f of x function here, it's x minus 1, plus my g of x function is x squared minus 1. Will I obtain the same answer as g plus f? So here, getting rid of the parentheses gives me x minus 1 plus x squared minus 1. Combining like terms gives me x squared plus x minus 2. So notice that both of these solutions are the same. So adding g of x and f of x and f of x and g of x will obtain us the same solution. So now here, the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to multiply these functions together. So I want to find f times g of x. So it's the same as saying f of x times g of x. So now here my f of x is x minus 1. And my g of x is x squared minus 1. Now here, expanding this would give you the first term in the first parentheses multiplied by every term in the second one would give you x cubed minus x. Now the second term in the first parentheses multiplied by every term in the second one gives you minus x squared plus 1. Now we can't combine anything, but I can rearrange these to be x cubed minus x squared minus x plus 1. So now here, I am gonna multiply g by f of x. So it's basically g of x times f of x. So now here, g of x is x squared minus 1. F of x is x minus 1. Expanding this, the first term by every term from the second parentheses gives you x cubed minus x squared. Second term by every term from the second parentheses gives you minus x plus 1. Notice that I was able to obtain the same answer multiplying f by g and multiplying g by f.